guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is gonna be a story time video. This is gonna be my first time ever doing a story time, and I just want to see how it goes. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the year 2018, right? So I met this guy, right? Let's call him JJ. He was a family friend, and we just so happened to be at the same place at the same time. At this time, I was more of a loner. So JJ just so happened to be at my house this day because we were meeting the family, because somebody from his family was going to be married to somebody from my family, or was going to marry somebody in my family. So we were doing like a meet the family kind of thing, and my grandma loves to cook, so she would just cook like big dinners, and everybody would just come to my grandma's house to eat, right? So like I was saying, around this time I was still like a very reserved person. I still do stay to myself a lot, but I really stayed to myself then. And this particular day, I feel like I did come out and socialize a little bit, just so the people could see my face. You know, I could say, hey, I'm who I am, and go on about my business, right? So either this particular dinner or another dinner. No, it was, okay, I'm getting beside myself. So like, we saw each other's faces and everything, and I went back to my room. So this was, I want to say this was 4th of July? No, because it happened kind of fast. So this had to have been maybe like Easter. So, okay, I think the first dinner had to have been around Easter time, where we like originally met. We got each other's names, you know, we saw each other. So I'm gonna say maybe either like Memorial Day or the 4th of July. He just so happens to be back here again for another like eating event, another dinner. At the previous dinner, I done learned my lesson over the years. I told my grandma, I was like, "Ooh, he's cute. He's kind of cute, you know." He was saying everything I liked. He talked about God. He played church music. He did all of the above. So I was like, oh, okay. I think I'm kind of I'm kind of crushing on him a little. So I told my grandma, just like, not even really being too serious about it. I was just like, he's kind of cute. So at the time, I was the only one of my sisters that was single. Or of me and my siblings or whatever that was single. So I was like, I guess she took it upon herself to get a little more information about him, either from my family member or from his family member. And either way, she did some research and she did some work. And I guess for the next dinner, I was just locked away in my room, because I'm the type of person, like, I get overstimulated very easy, especially if I don't really know you. So I tend to stay to myself. And at this time, I don't even think I had showed my face this day. So I'm just sitting, chilling in my room, and I hear a knock on my door. So I open my door, right? And he's at my door. So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, like, I low-key was happy though. So I was a little happy, and I was like, okay, like, what's going on? So he was just like, hey, do you want to go on a walk with me? And I was like, sure. So I put on me some clothes, and we went on a little walk. The time frame for all this is a little blurry, because this was a couple years ago. But anyways, we went for a walk, and we had been walking for a cool minute, you know, like the typical, like, get to know each other, like seeing what each other did for like their careers, and just, you know, the typical like get to know me type questions, right? But eventually we were like, so we had circled my neighborhood, or where I used to live at the time. We had circled the neighborhood, and then we were like pretty much on our way back to the house. So by this point, it was probably like 3, 4, maybe 5 o'clock in the afternoon, right? So we were like, everything was cool. We was, you know, walking and talking. I was actually very comfortable with this dude. So I was like, ooh, that's a sign. Like, I'm comfortable with this dude. He gotta be the one, right? So we were just still like walking and talking and everything, right? So this lady, she to this day still stay around this corner. So like we was just walking and talking, and I guess we were so like comfortable with each other already. The lady, she literally thought we was married already, or like finna like engaged, finna be married or whatever. She just thought we was like a long-term couple already. So she stopped us and she was like, I guess she saw us walking and she stopped us and she was just like, are y'all married or whatever? And we was like, no, we actually, I don't know if we told her we just met or we just told her that we weren't married. And then she was like, oh, well, don't wait. She was pretty much telling me like, don't wait to marry him. Or she was like, cause the longer I wait to marry him or whatever, I'm going to find something wrong with him. Cause I guess she just started telling me about her life story, about how her and her husband was. So I guess it was like certain traits her husband had that if she waited any longer, she wouldn't have married him. So I guess, long story short, she was just trying to give me advice to really not wait too long to get married. But anyways, this lady talked to us about something in nothing for 30 minutes. And at this point, I finna pass out because like I said, I hadn't eaten anything. So it was hot outside, y'all. It was probably like 100 and something degrees because it's always 100 and something degrees where I live. And I'm finna pass out. So like we all was talking, and then at this point, him and her were talking, and I'm like, I gotta sit down. So I sat down on the curb to stop myself from passing out because I hadn't eaten anything and I'm outside in this heat. And that lady still talked to us for 30 minutes. So I had mustered up the strength because I guess he got like a text or whatever saying like they were finna get ready to head back home. So we started like making our way back home because this lady literally would not stop talking to us. So that was like our way of pretty much getting out of that and like being able to go home or to get home. So really, so he can get ready to leave. So we exchanged numbers because I guess I already knew I was interested in him, but I guess he became more interested in me as we had talked. So we exchanged numbers, and from that day on, like we really hit it off. We talked to each other all day long. We text all day long. And then like maybe a week or whatever after that, he asked me to be his girlfriend. So of course I was happy. I said yes. And we continued learning more about each other, right? So it had been maybe a month or whatever, because I think about finally around this time, I think it was like, it was either Thanksgiving or it was before Thanksgiving. I think it might have been before Thanksgiving. So I was getting ready to plan a trip down up to where he lived because he stayed like an hour away from me. So I was getting ready to plan a trip up to where he lives to like spend like a weekend with him. So, we could, just spend time with each other because we live far away from each other and we just didn't get to see each other that much because at that time I didn't have a car and he didn't have a car. So we had to like plan around how we were going to like get to each other. It was time for us to meet each other, right? So I was going to him. So I had my ride together. I want to say I had my sister and my brother-in-law take me. So I had planned my trip and everything, and I had my ride drop me off, right? I'm sure I just went with like my basics and everything, right? So when I got there, like, and not to like talk about anybody's struggle or because I know we all struggle in different ways. So I'm not judging him based on what he could and couldn't provide for me. But I personally feel like if you knew you were having guests, you should have that your guests really should be comfortable at your house. So you should have food to feed them. You should have water to give them. You should just have like basic necessities that person should need. And this guy didn't have that. So like he worked 12-hour shifts. So most of the time he was going in like 6 o'clock in the morning to like 6 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever. So like, I want to say the first day I got there, he did have a meal for me. So he had cooked me something, and then I had like, we ate that night, and then I had leftovers for the morning. So that day everything was cool. Like I had enough food to eat to where I wasn't feeling sick. And then the next day, like I had the leftovers. I do remember him like bringing me food whenever he got off work. Or like whatever they had left over from where he worked, he would bring me food or whatever. So the first day is really the only day that I had breakfast and lunch, and the other times, I had to wait for him to bring me something. And then whenever he did bring me food, it was never really like a full meal. So like, let's say he brought me a chicken sandwich. It was never like a chicken sandwich, fries, and a drink. It was just always just the chicken sandwich, never a full meal. So that was the first trip. Like everything was cool. At this point, I guess I thought I was so in love with this boy. So really, as long as I was spending time with him, I didn't really care that he was starving me at the time. Like I had to go without when I was with him. And so, you know, we left. I left his house and everything was cool. We were still communicating with each other somewhat, because I feel like by this point, he had kind of started responding whenever he wanted to, hiding behind the fact that his phone was off, or he didn't have a phone, or he would always tell me his phone was off. But
y'all, and I forgot to add it in the video, but he literally would go like a full week or 2 full weeks without contacting me at all, and then would just like show up expecting me to still be okay with talking to him. But by this point, I started realizing that he really didn't like me as much as I liked him. So I had already started, I guess, distancing my emotions from him.
But almost in the same breath would tell me how he can, like, because he was a church dude. Like he always went to church, but he could always get in contact with his the pastor or whoever that came and picked him up. He could always get in contact with them. He could always get in contact with his family. He could really get in contact with the people that he needed to get in contact with, just not me. Okay. So by this time, it was a little closer to Christmas, and I think by this time we had been dating for maybe 3 to 5 months, I would say. And we were getting ready to plan our trip together, or we were not together, but we was getting ready to like plan me going to see him. And then from what I can remember, I was the only one that ever really initiated us spending time, and I was the only one that ever made the effort for us to get to each other. So like, common sense, he had his own house at the time, his own apartment. I was still living with my grandparents. So common sense, I was going to go to him, and I had no problem. Like, I got my ride together. This time I had my brother and his girlfriend take me, and I got to him. But this time I thought I was being a little smarter. So I packed up me like different snacks I wanted, and just like different things I would need to either one, keep myself entertained, because I didn't mention earlier, which there's nothing wrong with that, but he didn't have cable, he didn't have internet. He had like the smallest little TV that you could watch like DVDs on or whatever, but he didn't have many DVDs to choose from. So I was like, the first visit, I was literally there like either doom scrolling or just like honestly sleeping, which I didn't like. So I'm gonna call this the next visit, the Christmas visit. So this was the week of Christmas, pretty much. And the plan was for me to, because I was off work for like a week. So the plan was for me to spend the whole week with him leading up to Christmas Day. So, like I said, I was prepared. I was going to prepare for myself because I wasn't going to be starved this time, and I wasn't going to be bored. So I packed snacks. I packed entertainment. Around this time, I was like an avid gamer, so I packed up my system, and I just packed up stuff I knew I needed to keep me entertained, to keep me full. And then like I said previously, like I noticed he didn't have a lot of different things at his apartment. So like stuff that my grandma had like left over from either like rent houses or just like anything, she packed it up and I brought it to him, like just like stuff he could use around his apartment. So I like brought all that stuff to him. I want to say this day too, I wanted to say he told me he was off work this day. So like I said, I was in the car with my brother and his girlfriend at the time. So I vaguely remember having to wait on him like 30 minutes. I remember I had to wait on him. Maybe he did work that day, because I do remember having to like wait on him to be paged into his apartment. And I do remember him like helping me carry stuff up to his apartment. But anyways, like the first day was cool. Like we played games together, you know, we ate, did everything together. And let me see. Anyways, we did what we need to do. Okay. So like by this time, like I guess I was like a little insecure. I don't know if I would call it insecure. Maybe more depressed than insecure. I don't know. But like, and then I was like, I'm the type of person who's like always like in my mind, like overthinking. So I was overthinking a lot. Not necessarily like anything bad about him, mainly myself. So anyways, like I was saying, he did work 12-hour shifts. And like I said, I was staying a week. So by this time, I was really expecting him to like have food there for me to eat, because the first time I felt like he made it more of a priority to make sure I was fed. But I feel like the second trip, he really didn't. So I really feel like I had to defend for myself. So like now I'm going all day with no food, all day with no water, because there was nothing in the house.
So I can't remember if it was this visit or if it was the first visit. But I do remember him having like a case of like Smart Water, like little water bottles. And then I do remember him offering me one, and then I did like open it, and I do remember it feeling weird, like it didn't like crack open or whatever. And then like the water just tasted off. So tell me why we were standing in the kitchen together, and then I noticed him like kind of rinse out one of the water bottles he had finished, and then he filled it back up with tap water and then put it back in the refrigerator. Yo, I was so disgusted. I was just like I couldn't even. And then the crazy thing is, he had like a full case of fresh Smart Water when he could have gave me one.
And so like by the time he was home, I was sick to my stomach. So I don't remember all the days in between, like the time I got there to the day to Christmas Eve. But like by the time he got home, Christmas Eve, I was so sick and so ready to go home. Because for one, I hadn't pooped since I've been there. I hadn't really eaten anything since I've been there. And I literally just was not feeling good because I hadn't eaten anything. So this specific Christmas Eve, once again, I had not eaten anything. And some of his family members was having like a little Christmas get together, a little Christmas party. So like I knew at this person's house there was going to be like food, there was going to be drinking, there was going to be like festivities, because that's what it was. It was a Christmas party. So I was not feeling good, and like I said, I already didn't like being around a lot of people. So he asked me if I was gonna go to the Christmas party. I said no. I'm gonna stay here. And because the way he said it to me, it was like he was giving me the option to, like, hey, if you're going, I'm finna get ready to leave so you can go with me. So I was like, no, that's cool. I just want to stay here. Now there is some stuff that happened in between that to where I feel like he thought I really didn't mess with him like that anymore. Going out there with them so I can say what I really need to say. Okay. And then I'll let you know when you can come back. Okay, so anyways, like this trip, now my niece is going up. Okay, this was the trip where we first got intimate, right? So we got intimate like the first day we were there. I was there and everything. And then the next night he tried to be intimate with me again. And I think it's like I didn't necessarily say no, but I also didn't like acknowledge what he was trying to do. So this sun is okay. So I personally think it hurt his feelings. And cause like ever since then I feel like he started treating me just a little different. Cause I guess he just couldn't understand like why I gave it to him one time and then wasn't willing to give it to him again.
Y'all, and I'm only saying this looking back because this man ego was so big. So that's the reason why I feel like he was just feeling some way after this.
So like the whole time we was there, we weren't really intimate with each other again. He even stopped like, cause like any night I spent the night with him, he would always like cuddle me. Like we would always be like big spoon, little spoon, sleep. And he literally stopped doing that ever since I didn't give him what he wanted pretty much. So we're going back to like Christmas Eve night. He pretty much told me like he wasn't coming back home. So I pretty much needed to go to the party because he was not coming back home. And he was like, I can go with him to the party and then I can catch a ride back with my family member and his family member back to their house because we were all coming back to my hometown for Christmas Day. So I was like, okay, cool. I got myself together, packed up all my stuff, and I got picked up. So I guess, because I don't remember leaving together. I don't remember us leaving together. I want to say he left before I did because I don't know if like his brother was picking him up or sister-in-law, somebody was picking him up. But I do vaguely remember he left before I did. And then I don't remember if he did or didn't leave before I did. But anyways, we're at the party, right? So, mind you, I hadn't eaten anything the whole day, or I don't even know if I ate anything the night prior. But either way I go, like I hadn't eaten anything. So I feel like at this point, because of the type of girl that I was reserved, I was quiet. According to his eyes, I was a Christian girl. My grandpa's a pastor. I grew up in the church. I think that he just thought that I thought I was better than their family because I didn't want to hang out with people, but it was not because I thought I was better than them. At the time, I got overstimulated, so I didn't want to make myself sick or give myself a headache because I didn't want to be around people and had nothing to do with them. It was just all me. So I still sucked it up for my man's sake, and I got myself together. I went over to the party. We were playing like different games. I played games with him. Like I was acting like I wanted to be there, right? And I guess he at that point of being on like having an empty stomach, like I didn't want food at that point. And then for me, like, the type of food that was being served, I didn't want that type of food anyway. So I'm like, I done waited this long, I might as well just skip the meal. Or skip whatever snack finger foods or whatever we got. So he was trying to offer me a drink because everybody else was drinking, right? So he was trying to offer me a drink, and I was just like, hey, no, I don't want to drink. And I feel like a person with common sense could have, like, picked up on the clues, like, oh, well, maybe she don't want to drink because she hasn't eaten anything. Like, if anybody know me, if I'm going to drink, my stomach is going to be full before I put an ounce drink in my mouth. So, to stop myself from being sick, because I know I had to travel the next day, I still didn't drink, but I was still playing the games, laughing, kiki, ha-ha, and having a good time. I guess that wasn't enough for him, because I guess he wanted me to drink. I don't know. But, like, it's like he made a little, like, either he had made, like, a little comment, or whatever he did, it just let me know that he didn't like that. And I feel like he was very distant after that. So by this time, it was time to go home, right? Or time to go back to my family member's place. And I was begging him. I was like, can you please come spend the night with me? Or, you know, please spend the night with me, because I wanted to spend Christmas Day with him. So I wanted him to come back to my hometown with me so we can spend Christmas together, right? So at that point in time, he was just like, he'll think about it. He was like, I'll think about it. So, like, all the way up until we were getting ready to go, he was still thinking about it. So I'm like, hey, you need to let me know whether or not you want to go so the ride can come pick you up, right? So, like, a couple minutes before we were getting ready to go, he decided he was coming. So, I remember the person that I was riding with being frustrated because he finally decided he was coming. So they had to go all the way back to where he lived at to get him. And then we had to get on the road to come back to my home where I live at. So I got up that morning. So at that point, it had either been a full day and a half or 2 days where I hadn't eaten anything. So I had breakfast. The breakfast was delicious, but it was heavy. So halfway through the trip back home, I got sick, right? So I had to go. We had to stop real quick to go to the bathroom. And I guess for me, like, the type of protector woman I am, if I was the man, which I guess I really can't speak for men, I just feel like I would have never let my girl just go in a gas station by herself. But, which I think I want to say maybe we went in together, but I don't think he waited on me to come out. I want to say he came back to the car by himself. I was just so happy that he was there, y'all. Okay. So we're going to fast forward until we got back to where I live. So back to my grandparents' house, back to where I live. And then, like, we opened presents because I think my nieces had came. They were waiting on me to get here so they could open their presents. They opened their presents. Everybody opened presents. And we ate and everything. And I was overstimulated at this point because I had been away from my bed and away from home for a whole week. So I'm like, I'm finna go chill in my room. And of course, I wanted my boo thing to come chill in my room with me. But see, he was the type of person where he had to be social. And I was the type of person where I needed my alone time. So I was just like, hey, for like the last couple of hours, do you want to just like chill in my room? You know, we can talk. Because, like, at that point, I think we did want to talk to each other. Because I want to say he said he was coming back to he needed to talk to me. But I didn't know, like, what it was. And I didn't think it was going to be what it was. But it was. So, anyways, we were in my room talking and everything. He was just like, I don't remember exactly what he said. But all in all, he just, like, broke up with me because I guess he felt like I wasn't open enough.
Y'all, so now that I'm editing this video, I do kind of vaguely remember me and JJ being on the phone one time. And then I guess, like, somehow he found out that his brother found out that JJ was on the phone with me. And I just kind of remember him being like, just like saying under his breath, because I think he thought I wouldn't hear it. And he was just like, yeah, she just needs to talk a little more, or she just needs to like open up a little more. So I think that JJ and his brother had a conversation, or like JJ and the family had a conversation Christmas Eve night that I guess made him want to break up with me.
I was too reserved for him, and he wanted like, I guess he wanted like a outgoing, bubbly party girl, and that was not me. So he was just like, he was just pretty much like, I need to work on myself. I need to stop being so shy. I need to learn how to communicate with him. I need to learn how to open up, blah, blah, blah. And at the time, like, I low-key knew that was true. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, I am a little sad that you broke up with me, but I can fix I wouldn't say fix myself, but I was like, yeah, I can work on expressing my emotions a little more. I can work on opening up a little more. So I was like, okay, cool. So he left, he left on good terms and everything. Like, he even made it to the point to where he like hugged me and everything before he left. And then he was like, I don't know if he felt bad because he had realized he broke up with me on Christmas Day. And I don't know if he was expecting me to cry or whatever, but I took it like a G, even though I was hurting a little. It was like I don't know if he was waiting around on a kiss or what, but it's like he wanted more than a hug. But anyways, like, we continued kind of talking a little bit, but then he would like disappear for like days at a time. And at this point I was like, we not even together, yeah, I'm gonna still work on what I need to work on, but I was like, I'm gonna focus on me. I'm gonna continue working. I'm gonna continue doing what I need to do for me. So now we're gonna fast forward from Christmas to his birthday, right? So his birthday is March. So fast forward to his birthday, we were still making plans to hang out with each other, still trying to make this whole relationship thing work, or he pretended to try to want to make the relationship work. So it was around his birthday, right? And I was going to spend a couple days with him for his birthday. He even invited me down this time to spend time with him. Keep that in mind. So, like, at this time, my mama had just got her a new little ride, and she had a boo thing. So my mama and her boo thing took me to his house, right? Okay, so we settled on, I don't know the exact times, but let's say I was supposed to be down there and at his house at 1:30 p.m., right? So we get there at 1:30. I get to his house. I'm texting him, calling him. I'm like, let me backtrack. So it was his birthday, so he was doing things that day, but he was just like, yeah, I know you on your way, but just like let me know, like really just keep me updated on what's going on. So like I text him when we were leaving. I text him like, hey, we 20 minutes away, we're 30 minutes away, whatever. So like I was texting him, and like he replied to like the first message. So the whole hour it took to get there, I didn't hear anything from him. We finally pull up at his house. I want to say the gate just so happened to be open, or somebody was either leaving out or leaving in. And then we was able to like get into the gate because I wasn't hearing from him to like even meet me there to get me into the house, right? So I'm texting him, trying to call him, trying to see where he is so I can get to his house so the people who dropped me off can go home, because we live in a whole different city. So it's taking 30 minutes, an hour. I don't hear back from this dude. So that was like, well, let's drive around, because like there's this taco spot up there that everybody raved about, and I guess my mom and her boyfriend had ate there before. So they was just like, let's ride around. Some of his family was up there, so we just rode around and we went and got food. So I'm gonna say like another hour, maybe an hour, 45 minutes to an hour had passed, right? And he finally texted. He was like, hey, like, I'm still at my brother's house or whatever. But I'm like, okay, I'm here when you coming home. And then I want to say he gave me an estimated time when he was coming home. And then, like, that time had passed. And he still wasn't home, right? He still was really nowhere near to coming home. So then, finally, he knew he wasn't coming home. So he was just like, hey, you can come to my sister-in-law's house because that's where I am. So that immediately pissed me off because I'm like, I didn't come down here to hang out with your sister-in-law. I didn't come down here to hang with your brother or whatever. And I was like, if that's what you wanted to do on your birthday, you should have let me stay at home. Like, it's not that deep. But like, the original plan was not for me to come down here and hang out at your brother's house or your sister's house. Because for one, like, I had just got paid that day and I had semi-planned some stuff for us. It was like I wanted to take him out to eat. I wanted to like take him to see a movie and just like us spend time together. But I guess he thought, which I can low-key kind of understand, he knew I was a homebody. And since I guess I didn't run the plans by him, he just assumed that we were just going to go sit at his house and do nothing, which that was not the plan. Like, and if he would have did right in that situation, he would have saw that. So by this point, I'm pissed off. So I was like, you know, like, if you had other plans today where you couldn't come home, you should have just said that, and I would have never wasted my time coming here. And I said all that, and I went home, right?
So like I said, I have nothing against his family members. At the time, I just felt like almost a whole relationship was putting me on the back burner. So I don't know. I just felt like I wasn't a priority in this situation. So, and then I just felt like he wasn't putting my feelings first or anything. And not even trying to be selfish, but he literally asked me to come spend my birthday with him, but he just would not come home so we can celebrate his birthday, when that was the original plan. And then, like, now that I've really been like trying to edit this video and look back, I do remember, like, remembering his sister-in-law telling him, like, because I guess, like, they could see how he was treating me or whatever, and they was like, she actually really like you, trying to get him to, like, I guess, like, realize what he got, and so he can stop playing with me. So she was just like, she actually really like you. And, like, I guess it does make sense now, because I guess he's just used to women not liking him for him.
So I don't remember exactly how he reacted to that or anything, but by that point I was done. I was really done talking to this dude for the most part. So like later on and during the summertime, maybe like June, July, like my family member and his family member finally got married, right? So at this time I was still low-key trying to, I wouldn't say, I guess I don't know if I was still trying to make it work or I just wanted the attention from him. I don't know what it was, but like I was still low-key kind of willing to like give it a try, I guess. So I remember I don't know what he wanted from me, I guess, is why I'm so confused. But I remember we were all like in this like foyer thing taking pictures, and at this point I'm mad at this dude. So, and then for one, like I'm mad and I don't like taking pictures in general, because at the time I did not like the attention. To this day I still don't want, for one, I don't like other people taking my pictures, and I don't want a crowd of people watching me get my picture taken. I don't know if that's immature or whatever. I don't like that. So he got mad because I would not take a picture with him. And I don't know if that was before or after he seen me taking pictures with my brother. So he was feeling some type of way. So I was like, I'm going to give him one more chance, right? After the whole birthday fiasco, I was like, I'm going to give him another chance. And I'm going to see if he want to like hang out tonight or whatever. And I want to say we were supposed to, because I remember I was waiting on him to reply to me or like reach out to me or whatever, and he never did. So I want to say maybe we had plans to hang out, and I think it just never happened because he was that type of nigga. But anyways, like after the whole, I want to say we did have plans, because I remember I was hurt. I was really hurt, and I was like, okay, that's it. Like, I see what type of nigga is, and I was like, I just see it. So like from the wedding day on, I really just stopped talking to him. Like, just altogether, I stopped like reaching out. I just stopped doing anything. And that September, I remember I got my first new car. And he reached out, and he was just like, he just called me out the blue, like, this is, okay, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna go back a little. So he saw that I got a new car, right? And he called me out of nowhere and was just like, hey, I saw your new car, because I had posted on Facebook. He was just like, hey, I saw your new car, and he was just like, the car looked nice, and then he invited me down to visit him. And so I was just like, oh, okay, I'll think about it. But like, at the time, I knew what type of stunt he was trying to pull. And I'm saying this because, like, the whole time we were talking, right? So the job I had at the time, I was selling like military hats or like different type of hats at the like our VA center here. So a lot of people look at that as like not being a real job, right? So he would always try to like downplay my job, and I guess really to try to make himself look better. But like he would just say like little snarky and like really like degrading comments about my little job. And then I guess like he saw where I was like, I had something to offer him, right? Or I had something to benefit him, which was my car. So all of a sudden now he want to hang out. Like he want me to come visit him. He want to hang out. But you didn't really want to give me the time of day a couple months ago. So that's long story was the time where a dude broke up with me on Christmas over some bull. And I low-key think he was the type of dude that really was trying to compete with me. And it was just a whole like really weird relationship. Oh, and then I forgot to mention one thing too. So like the second time when I was visiting him, I guess he just hated the fact that I was just sitting in his house while he was at work. So he told me like, okay, so these apartments that this dude lived in, they were like nice, but they were still considered like ghetto apartments, right? But he gonna tell me that I need to get up and start walking around the apartment, like just random place where I'd never been. He was just like, you need to get up and start walking around the apartments or whatever while I'm at work. And I'm like, why would I do that?
So at the time, I just felt like that was kind of strange for him to want me, a young woman at that, to like walk around his apartments, a strange area. I don't know nothing about nothing because I'm not even from this city. And he would just want me to just like get up and walk around. Like, is it weird of me to feel some type of way on that situation, or would y'all feel some type of way too?
And then I remember one time too, I think this was the Christmas night or Christmas Eve. No, I think this was the night before Christmas Eve, where I had got so sick because I was starving.
So like I said, this was before like Uber Eats and like DoorDash was popular, where you could just like get a little simple meal or whatever delivered to you. And so like, since I was the only one that was ever like making an effort to like get to him and everything, the majority of my money was going to like gas to like get me there, or like different situations. So I really didn't have like extra money to buy like meals or whatever, because I was really, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's where I messed up at expecting people to buy meals for me. But it was just weird because I'm like, every time I would invite someone to my house or anything, I would have food to feed them. Like, no matter if I was like short on cash or whatever, I would make a priority to make sure I have food to feed that person.
I got so sick where I had to damn near beg him to walk right to the store next to his apartments and grab me a Sprite, because he wanted, I can't remember if he wanted me to walk with him or if he wanted me to walk by myself to go get the Sprite. But I'm like, but you my man, you supposed to be my protector. Like, anyway, so that is the story time on when JJ broke up with me on, y'all, this sun is killing me. When JJ broke up with me on Christmas. JJ, if you're watching this, you did me dirty. As y'all, the sun is shifting, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. I'm trying to get out the sun. I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. If you did like it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to hear more story times from me, just let me know and I'll come up with something. Thanks for watching. Bye.